Thank you. I just want to thank my friend Tom Garrett. I mean, on his way out, and he cares so deeply about this country and this country's allies that he would put his life at risk and go and spend time with another American hero. In fact, Dave Eubanks is a hero, and he's someone who has dedicated his life as a Christian, as an American, to trying to make the lives of others in the world better. And I thank my friend Congressman Garrett for that time. We shouldn't turn our back on our friends. Sometimes it seems that Mr. Erdogan is not our friend, but we certainly have had a tremendous amount of friendship and lives lost in the Kurdish community, standing up for us, with us, in defense of freedom. That's important. I also want to address the issue of the wall on our southern border. And it appears clear, since we lost over 70,000 American lives last year, that's more than all of the precious American lives we lost in the whole time of the Vietnam War. And we lost those in 1 year from drugs. Most of that coming across our southern border in the form of opiates, other hallucinogens, including fentanyl, coming from Mexico. So yeah, if you want to see another 70,000 Americans die again next year, you don't want a wall, don't build a wall. If you would like to have illegal aliens continue pouring into this country, so in hopes that they'll be able to vote illegally, you don't want a wall, even though you supported one in the past. You don't want one now because you may get those votes if you can stop a wall from being built. If you want Mexico to remain as a country with so much incredible potential, whose people are suffering, and keep the people of Central America suffering at the hands of the drug cartels, you don't want a wall. Because if we build a wall where we need it, you build a fence where we need it, you totally secure the border, what happens? The money by the tens of billions pouring into the drug cartels south of the border dries up. That means the corruption in Mexico and south of there dry up. That means Mexico, with its incredible national resources, the natural resources of that nation are incredible. Its location actually for commerce is even better than the United States. It sits between two continents. It sits between two oceans. Its potential is unlimited. But what limits it is the corruption from the drug cartels that America is continuing to fund. So you want that to continue. Yeah, you don't want a wall. Our elected leaders in the House and the Senate, the Republican elected leaders in the House and Senate, we're not in favor of a wall or total border security. In the last election in 2016, and it was unfortunate. The president knew and heard the voice of the American people, and he echoed it. But that's why back in September of this year at our conference, and I know it wasn't popular and people didn't like me saying it, but I had to make clear, it was clear to me, if we don't get money for a wall, then the people, the voters that put President Trump in the White House will not come out in the same numbers, and we will not likely remain in the majority. Said it 2 weeks in a row. And the response was to cancel that last week of votes before the election. We didn't fund the wall. We said, oh, let's wait till December. My comment then was, this will be my 14th December in Congress, and I have lived through 13 where we were told we'll fight in December, and we have yet to fight in December. Now is the time. I know people want to go home. I want to go home, but this is our chance to protect America for our future. Let's help the president keep our promise. Let's help him keep our promise. I know the Speaker and the Majority Leader were not big on this 2 years ago, but most of America heard commercials from our Majority Leader saying, help Kevin McCarthy and President Trump build the wall. Well, now we need Americans to help remind our Republican leaders to help our president build the wall like we said. If that doesn't happen, I don't think the Senate can count on being back in the majority. They won't be. It's that serious. And I know the feeling, I've heard that in the feeling in the Senate among Republicans, now let's don't do reconciliation so we'd only have to pass the money for a wall with 51 votes. We don't want to do that. If you don't do that, get money passed for the wall, you're not coming back in the majority. Maybe enjoy the minority. Get used to it. That's where you're heading in 2 years. It doesn't have to be that way. We can still have the White House in 2020. We can still have a majority in the Senate in 2020. We can get the majority back in the House in 2020. But if we drop the ball on this biggest campaign promise, we're not going to have the majority in either House or the White House. And that, to quote my friend from Houston, a fellow former judge, that's the